it's Jana here at Styles and Smiles, here for part 2 of our color series. So make sure you watch last week's because that's where I explain the different types of color and how they work. So today I'm going to talk a little bit about the fun temporary extreme colors. So these are the ones that are super trendy right now that are so fun to do, things like purple or the blues or pinks and things like that. So the first thing to note that's important is that they are temporary. A lot of people don't realize that they're not ones that are actually going to stay on your hair for very long. So most of them will stay maybe about a month, depending on how much you wash your hair. They'll fade. They might fade to a lighter color. They might stain your hair and stick around for a while, but they are not a permanent one. And so another important thing to note is because they're not the permanent. Remember I explained about the permanent, how when it's a permanent color, it actually goes all the way into your hair. It lifts your natural color and then deposits the color that it wants it to be. So since these ones are temporary colors, they're just staining the outer part of your hair. They are not lifting any color out of your hair. So in order to get these fun, vibrant colors, you do have to actually bleach your hair first. And the lighter, the better. So I have some color swatches here just to show you some of the colors that they can turn out to be. So all these fun colors. These are the samples if it's on like very, very pre-lightened white hair. So you're not going to get these fun colors if you just have, you know, naturally blonde hair. It can show up, but to get it to be the really, really vibrant, especially if you want to go the pastel colors, you have to really like remove all color. And the hardest one that's the super popular right now is to do in like the silver or the pastel pinks, those kind of colors. Those ones you literally have to remove all color from hair. So it's going to take a lot of bleaching and then toning because you don't want to have any of that yellow or golden tint to it at all. It has to be completely white in order to get it to be that silver, because natural silver happens when, you know, as people age, it's because they lose all pigment of their hair. So in order to get the artificial silver, you have to really remove all the pigment in the hair to get, and then tone it to that silver tone. And so it is not one that's easy to get. So if you're thinking of going silver, it's super cool, but just know that it's probably not going to happen in one time unless you're already naturally really blonde. Then it might be able to happen in one time, but a lot of those colors, it's going to take a few processes to get you lightened just so you're not totally frying your hair. So it might be, you know, do it a week or so in between each bleach session, especially if you have a darker hair and you want to go lighter, or if you want to do any of these vibrant colors and you have really dark hair. It might take more than one session of bleaching to pre-lighten that hair to get it light enough for these colors to show up. And then the other thing that I recommend, I know there's so many cool ideas out there on Pinterest and you see on Facebook, or, you know, just search Google Images, whatever. There's so many fun ideas going around with all these extreme vibrant colors, and I love it. I'm a huge fan of it. I just want you guys to understand what you're getting into. And so if you want to do something with a lot of colors like that unicorn hair kind of thing, my recommendation is not to like weave it too much within each other, because it looks really cool for pictures. So if you're doing it just for like a photo session, totally do it. But there's a possibility that they can bleed into each other as you wash it, or just as they fade, if you want to keep it up, it's going to be a lot more maintenance if they have to try and pick out each little piece to recolor it, if that makes sense. So my recommendation is, if you want to do some of these fun extreme colors, to do in a little peekaboo, which is what we call it when it's like underneath a little bit here, so it just kind of peeks out. Those ones are really fun because then as you get that, because you do have to pre-lighten, and so you're bleaching that section. So then as that grows out, you're not going to see that line of it. And then as it fades, it doesn't look too weird usually when it's just kind of that peekaboo. So to do colors, I recommend doing it in more of chunks. I mean, they can, even if that chunk you have a couple different colors on it, just make sure that they're colors that blend well together, that won't bleed into each other. Like, you know, having yellow at the bottom if you want to do like a rainbowy kind of thing. You don't necessarily want to have the lightest color at the bottom because, you know, or even if it's blue, purple, pink, they might kind of all blend, you know, bleed down into the pink, not so good. But if you want to do pink, purple, blue, something like that might work. So just kind of think about the colors and how they might bleed into each other. So you can do that, but I definitely recommend doing it more in chunks rather than little pieces that are hard to pick out to redo. So that's my main recommendation. The other thing that I will mention with my hair, because I have it all purple, obviously I love color, I do have naturally dark hair, so we did have to bleach all of it. And the thing to note with bleaching all of it, the lighter the better, obviously, but mine in the back, some of it bleached lighter because we'd left that on a little bit longer because that's where we started. I don't know how much you can tell in the video, but some of this back color is a lot more vibrant because the front, although it was blonde, it still had a little bit of a yellow tone to it, so the purple isn't as vibrant. But in order to keep up my purple, I do actually use a shampoo that's depositing purple every time I wash. It says on the bottle it recommends to do every other wash if you want to just keep up your color, or if you want to make your color more vibrant and then to do it every wash. But I found with my hair, if I skip a wash or if I wash with regular shampoo and then with the color shampoo, my color tends to look a little bit more bluish because that's what sticks to my hair more. And so I use it every single wash. And so if you do have a good chunk of your hair, like you're doing a whole bunch, like all of the ends of your hair or a big chunk of it in a solid color, then I recommend using one of these shampoos that deposits color as you wash it, because then you can even put it in just all of your ends, or, you know, in that chunk, if you're doing just the underneath, you can wash it with that shampoo. And then that keeps it up in between, and then you don't have to worry about going in the maintenance. And that's why I say to do things in chunks. It's a lot easier to maintain it at home, and adding a little bit more, even just a little bit of the color that you used, and you can add some to your shampoo, just a little bit of it to your shampoo, and just wash it in at home even. So that's why when you do those little things where it's weaved, it's going to be a lot more maintenance because you can't really do that at home. It's going to be more time at the salon, and so I'm just trying to save you money and save you time. So try and do things in chunks. Try and think about what you want to have in between, but make sure you do plan on having enough time and money and pre-lightening as much as possible to get the most vibrant color, because that is super, super important. The lighter it is, the better the color will show up and the better it will stay on your hair, and it won't fade to a weird color, because if you have any of that yellow tint as the base, as it's fading, it's going to have that, you know, undertone of the yellow, and you have blue on it, you know what color yellow and blue make, it's going to start fading to a weird green color. So make sure you try and get it as much to a white as you can before adding any of these extreme colors, but I do love them. So come and see me if you want to get anything done, because that is actually our salon special this month, is to do any of the extreme colors. We're doing 20% off any extreme color service, and that service prices definitely vary depending on what we're doing on your hair. So it can start at $10 if we're just doing a little streak or peekaboo in your hair and we don't need to pre-lighten, but the more that we have to do with pre-lightening and the more color that we're using, the color can go up from there. But we can work with your budget, but they are all 20% off this month. So if you want to come in and see us and get a fun peak of color in your hair, we have a lot of colors. We have these ones, plus there's some new spring colors too that are out that are really, really pretty. Some lighter blues and lighter purples and lighter pinks, and even a mint and a peachy color. They're super, super pretty. So come in and see me at Styles and Smiles. Make sure you like and share this video and subscribe to our channel so you can learn more. Next week we'll be talking about some more color. So if you have any other color questions, be sure to comment either on the video or on our page, or you can message me your questions, but I will try to address those. So thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next week.